Are you
Um,
telling me he's the six-fingered man? Did he kill my father? Should he
so
prepare to die?
Welcome to the Vale, a rare bastion of civilization in a world recuperating after a terrible, centuries-long war. Though the battles ended 200 years ago, the land still recovers from this period of tumultuous strife and slavery. Join now the defenders of the Vale as they navigate a world riddled with opportunity and tragedy, all the while seeking glory, gold, and adventure.
so you guys are in Abel's throne room. Beams of energy are being blasted forth, back and forth between Abel and Shijiri. The ancient fight has finally come to a culmination. Abel has never been this far in any of his timelines. The amount of pressure has knocked you guys to your feet. Do you remember?
I did not remember until you said that, but I do remember now.
Moments are flashing in front of your guys' eyes as you kind of realize this is a culmination of all of your characters in the guild's efforts. Escaping from the orcs, convincing Telgar and the orcs to join you, running into Abel for the first time in the cave when you guys could have swore he was a vampire. You run into the memories of when you convinced the elephants to join, or when you rescued the elephants and you guys convinced the tribe of Luxodons to join, discovering down here, rescuing the people who were attacked by Dethero, remembering the false Hydra. All of these things are flashing before your eyes. You're powerless at this point in time. There's not a spell that any of you have, or an ability that any of you have can affect the outcome of the ritual that's going on right now. Using the triangles of power and channeling his own life force, Abel is fighting to break the hold this god of death has had over your existence, over this world. The energy blasting back and forth is just really weighing down on you. It's suppressing you into the ground. It feels like a giant is pushing you into the weird opaque marble ground beneath your bodies as you guys are not only knocked prone, but you're getting pressed into the ground. You start to hear cracks and
For the
stuff is
for the record, I'm not knocked prone. A pile of dust cannot be prone.
uh-huh. So yeah, you're just blown off into the void. You hear the cracks as the tile starts to break. You hear screaming as a weird, almost otherworldly voice emanates from Abel, not the normal suave, debonair voice he speaks with. His form slowly starts to change as he grows and becomes more bulbous and more like his original form, tentacles and eyeballs in places it shouldn't be. And he grows into what is more than a gigantic creature. To put it in perspective, he's easily bigger than the moon. And then everything goes blank. Consciousness is lost. The pressure's gone. And each of you lift your heads as you wake up in the humble beginnings. Smell of bacon being cooked, sweet scent of wine, as you're all there, including Roland, awakening for a very confusing, possibly terrifying dawn of a new era. There's little birds chirping. The sun looks especially beautiful this morning as it comes in through the windows of the inn. And nobody has any idea, besides you guys, what just happened. What do you do?
Is Grok there?
No.
Then I will continue to be a pile of dust.
Rabijan is apparently against resurrecting Grok.
Well, she did try before we decided it was going to take too long.
Yes, that's, yeah, so she needed to rest before she could do that again anyway.
It's a good thing you woke up from the most restful rest you've ever had.
Perfect.
What are you guys doing? Roland, Matsu, Sue, Onyx? You're awake. It's breakfast time.
I believe that Robbie John would be... She'd probably make her way to the downstairs, get her breakfast from the gnome, and then uncharacteristically take it back up to her room, and then she's gonna start casting True Resurrection. Was that it?
Yes.
All right, so that's what Robbie John is doing, trying to bring, put a little pep in Grok's step.
What's everybody else doing?
All right, so Matsu wakes up suddenly. What? Was it all a dream? And he just wanders down into the common area of the inn. Roland, on the other hand, he wakes up lazily, kind of blinks a couple times as he stares up at the ceiling of his room in the humble beginnings. And he closes his eyes again for a moment, not really thinking about it. And then he suddenly jolts awake. Wait, what? What am I? Why am I here? What happened to the portal? To the Fae? He quickly gets up and rushes downstairs to see where everybody else is.
Guys,
Just
Roland's back on the team now.
Basil sort of also wakes with a start. I guess actually it's probably one of those things of like he's waking up sort of slowly, like, oh, this is a nice restful morning, and then suddenly it's like realization hits, and he sits bolt upright, looks around. Hello?
I'm
Is
trying to
this another one of
sleep.
those dreams? Onyx?
Stop yelling.
Instead of leaving his room to go to Onyx's room through the door, he scrambles out of his open window and through Onyx's open window. Onyx!
I'm trying to sleep.
What do you mean you're trying to sleep?
Okay. When you go to
No,
at
no,
night,
no, 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 I don't want an explanation. What happened?
you crawled through my window.
Before that. Before yelling as well.
I was asleep.
But before that, Onyx.
Abel was a big old moon, and it was hard to stand up.
Right?
And before that, we were fighting. Oh no, I almost forgot. We had these gems,
Yes.
and then I put my cube around it, and then it destroyed my cube because it was too powerful. And then we, I don't know.
Onyx, do you see how that doesn't explain how we got here? And... Oh, God, Grok. He goes over to Onyx's door. He opens it and he peeks out, sees if there's anyone milling around. Anybody
Nope.
there?
Nobody's milling around.
You probably think you just saw Roland walk downstairs, but there's no way you could have seen Roland.
Yeah, he squints, rubs his eyes. I think we're in another dream. Like before. Onyx, get up. We've got to go.
But I'm dreaming. You just said I was.
Forget your dream! No! We have to get out of this dream!
You're annoying in my dreams. You know that, right?
Well, it's for a good cause, come on!
Okay. And Onyx gets up and follows.
Basil sprints down the stairs.
Grok,
Yes.
1 minute. You're with the group. You're on a platform. There's crystals. You take a brief moment to contemplate things. Then you get hit by waves of disintegrate energy. You experience the greatest pain that you've ever experienced in your life. You don't even have time or the ability to scream, and things go black. You wake up, you're on a beach, you slowly start to open your eyes. Water's lapping at you. It's kind of a warm day. Looks like you're on like an exotic island. There's probably coconuts near you and probably a crab crawling up the beach. You kind of get up, roll over. You're sitting on your rear with your feet kind of in the water, the waves lapping up your legs, sitting towards your thighs. Your robe is soaked. And you look around, and the weather is whatever the most comfortable temperature you think the weather could be. You notice there's a little bit of emotion to the island. As you start to think about this, it's a little weird. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
19.
19 perception. It feels like you're on a boat, and you kind of scan around and you look, and kind of out to the distance, a little east of you, which you imagine east is, you see something poking up from the water just ahead of the island. Curiosity takes over, and you start to head towards it. You head over, and you make your way, and it dawns on you that you are on the back of a massive dragon turtle. You're on one of them, but massive, bigger than they're ever supposed to be. You feel home. You feel like this is probably a place that you could be. You look a little bit inward from the shores, and there's shelves with books. There are target dummies that look like they're scarched from spells. There's fruit and food lying around, or if you spent a little time gathering, you could easily access food. And then you feel a familiar tug on your existence. You feel an invitation to return. You feel a pulling, bringing you back to life as Rabbi Jan casts her spell. Are you willing to come back to life?
Yeah.
Leaving this place where there's perfect knowledge, this place where there's no want for anything, this place where there's probably more of your own kind.
Yeah, but Rabbi John needs me.
You return. You all of a sudden start to become aware of yourself in Rabbi Jan's room. And Rabbi Jan, about 59 minutes into the spell, you finally start to feel something. Your faith's being rewarded. You've been casting and praying and dumping energy and sacrificing components and breaking apart the diamond, the expensive diamonds, and all the money that you're throwing into this. And you've been going for an hour. You're sweating, you're drenched like you've been working out, and you're emotionally exhausted because you're putting everything you have into it, but you're not seeing anything. Finally, the 59th minute of the spell, you start to see light, kind of circular light rotating in your room, and slowly from this light, you start to see a familiar outline of Dragon Turtleborn as Grok steps through this light and back into existence into your room. Grok, you're now in Rabbi Jan's room.
Well, this isn't where I thought we would be.
There was a lot that happened. How are you feeling, Mr. Grok?
I'm feeling perfectly fine. How are you feeling?
Robert John feels pretty alright.
So, what do you need me for?
Well, what do you remember from?
I have an idea how to destroy the gems. See, if we point the gems at each other, they'll blow each other up.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea. I think it will work.
You know, Mr. Grok, you're probably right. However, Robert John isn't sure if you noticed we're kind of like not doing that anymore.
Why not?
Well, you see, we finished that, and you had a bad time.
What do you mean I had a bad time?
Well, there were these like booms that kept happening, and they hurt. They did some hurt to us, and there was one that did a little too much hurt to you.
I don't understand.
Well, Robbie John is a little hungry. Would Mr. Rock like to join her for some breakfast?
Sure, let's go have some breakfast.
Okay.
Where's Irony at?
We'll talk about it at breakfast. And they go, I would assume, downstairs because Robbie John only had one plate of breakfast, so obviously she's still hungry. But she feels like maybe if they go to a more common area, other people might be able to help fill in the blanks.
When you guys get down to the bottom of the stairs, Sue says, "Oh, good. You're not dead anymore. See yas." And I go to the portal and leave.
So you go through the portal. You get back to, I'm assuming you go back to base.
Yep.
You walk in. You see a very exhausted Kane and a very beat up John. John's actually missing the bottom part of his right arm. He's got the stub put up in a sling. And Kane looks like he's been through pretty rough battles. They're both kind of leaning back, enjoying a glass of wine. And when you walk in, they go, "Oh God, how do you look so normal?"
Well, I mean, in fairness, looking at you two, what I did probably wasn't as big a deal.
Yeah, that's obviously, you hear John go, "That's obviously it. We did way harder work than you." How'd it go?
Went well. One little hiccup, but he's fine now. Everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine.
So tell me, you see Kane kind of switch to Springwater and John switch to the Jackal. They get serious. They lean forward. They kind of set the wine down and they say, "Have a seat."
Okay, I sit down.
Threat assessment. What do we got to worry about with the guild?
I don't think anything right now. I think it's going to take. I think some of them are probably done adventuring. I think others are going to take a good long rest, and they seem pretty committed to being defenders of the Vale.
So you don't think any of them are going to go rogue?
I don't think so. I mean, I hope not. That would be unfortunate. I kind of like them.
If they were to go rogue, who's the big threat?
Roland.
How do you plan on taking them down?
Probably with friends. If I catch him by surprise, I think he'll be fine. And I'm pretty good at surprise.
Then the other question is potential for allies.
Rabijan doesn't have it in her to be mean to anyone.
No, I'm sorry. I switched gears on you. Of the guildies, which one are the greatest potential for allies for the kingdom?
Again, probably Roland and Onyx. You know what? All of them. I think all of them are.
Have you been to Onyx's down here?
I don't believe I have.
How's your relationship with Onyx?
I mean, he thinks I'm hilarious, and I think he's pretty entertaining. We have a good relationship.
Springwater mocks throwing up, and he goes, "Hilarious?"
I mean, obviously.
Okay. Your new job, starting tomorrow, after you take a day off, is to head down and secure by any means necessary a trades agreement and a peace pact between our kingdom and his kingdom.
That shouldn't be a problem. I think he would be open to it, and if he's not, there's obvious leverage.
Okay, don't fail. And then Sue will get up knowing that he's dismissed and head out to wherever his home is to do whatever he does with his free time.
Well, in my free time, I like to help blind people. Verb, not adjective.
All right, we go back to the inn. So, Grok, what were you about to ask Rabbi Jan?
Well, after Sue said that, congratulations, you're not dead anymore. I'm going to look at Rabbi Jan and go, Rabbi Jan, you died? No wonder you called me back from the beach.
No. Was the beach nice?
It was very nice and relaxing.
Oh, maybe someday Rabbi John will visit there too. But no, Rabbi John didn't die.
Then why did he say you died?
Well,
Matsu pipes in. Dude, you got smoked.
Yeah, it's 'cause you died.
Wait, I died? How am I still here?
Rabbi John harnessed the powers from Freya and brought you back.
So wait a minute. I died and you brought me back.
Yes, that's what happened.
So you didn't save my life. You brought it back. That's even better.
What?
That's even better than saving my life. We all run around saving each other's life and helping each other out all the time. But that's even better. I owe you bunches. I'm gonna hang out with you until I repay it.
Oh, well, Robbie John is happy to help. Here's some breakfast, and she's gonna like shove a plate at him, and then take her plate that is loaded probably 2 or 3 times more so than his.
Grok is gonna be following Robbie Jan around like a lost puppy for quite a while.
Fantastic.
Is Scandal and everyone else like that there?
Yeah, everybody in the guild's there. Nina, even Troutline's there.
Oh, okay. Well, then definitely Scandal is at the bar, drinking, trying to drink away this hangover he thinks he has. Because, you know, what beats booze is more booze, obviously. He doesn't care that it's just gone morning. Do they remember what happened or no?
Yeah, everybody kind of knows something happened, but all the armies and stuff they were attacking just stopped.
Then, after everyone's sort of done talking to Grok, Scandal's gonna be like, "Can you guys keep it down? I'm trying to keep this down." And he shakes his drink.
Anybody who wants to can make a perception check.
Grok got an 18.
18 as well.
Basil got a 25.
Roland got a 13. Matsu got a 22.
A natural 20. Matsu, Basil, you guys noticed a very sullen and sad-looking Breck in the corner.
Basil is looking like very confusedly between Grok and Breck. Because, you know, a second ago, Grok didn't exist anymore, so. But now he's also like, what is this new Breck information? Should I be worried about? I guess I should be worried about everything. I think he would go and he'd look at Onyx next to him. He'd sort of be like, sorry for waking you up, Onyx. And then he'd sort of, while visibly staring at Grok, he moves over to where Breck is and takes a seat next to him.
Grok blatantly, obviously, and very cheesily gets a shit-eating grin on his face and waves at Basil. Or is it Basil or Scandal?
This is Basil. Scandal's drinking.
Smiles at Basil and waves at him like Forrest Gump waves.
Basil very confusedly waves back. But yeah, he sits down next to Breck and goes, "Hey, Breck."
Yeah. What can I do for you, man?
And he sort of turns his attention fully to Breck. Are you, seems like you've taken something pretty hard, friend.
Everything's gone.
What do you mean?
All of... he's gone.
You're talking about Abel, aren't you?
He kind of looks at you and he kind of looks like dejected, almost like rejected. He just gets up. He tosses a coin on the table and he just walks out of the front of the Humble Beginnings.
Basil would watch him sort of go, and he'd want to stop him, but I think he'd think, at least for now, he kind of has to let him process it, you know what I mean? And he might go and try and find him later. Scandal, however, who is now drunk, and also has lost his master, sort of slumps off his chair, and he goes, "Is that what this bloody hollow feeling I've been feeling all morning is? Bloody hell. Breck, you can't go without me, pal. We're a team here." And he will stumble drunkenly out of the bar after him.
Yeah, and let's talk about Scandal for a second. The night before last, Scandal was mid-battle that he did not want to be in because he was bossed by his patron, Abel. And then he's in the battle. He's running around terrified, just doing amazing things. Nobody's paying attention. He's very frustrated because he is looking magnificent while doing these great acts of strength. And then all of a sudden, there's an explosion, almost like when the Death Star blew up and you can see an explosion in space. And like a cheesy PlayStation 1 effect of glass shattering. Right? And then everything goes white. He wakes up the next morning in the humble beginnings, and he can't feel that nagging connection that he's always had. It's just been ripped from him. There's just an emptiness there.
I think Scandal would have had the thought, oh god, they killed my conscience.
And the same's for Breck. Breck's in the humble beginnings. He's tattered. He's been defending the inn, right? Remember, because the armies were attacking Centerville. He's cast every spell he has. He's just Eldritch Blast are flying. Brack is hovering. He's teleporting around. He's porting from the top floor to the second floor to on top of the inn. He's putting in work. He actually, his imp is flying around. Brack has gotten the killing blow on dragons. He's just doing these heroic things. He's summoning beings and demons onto the battlefield. And all of a sudden, the same thing. He sees the same thing Scandal does. He wakes up the next morning and in a weird, like, introspective into Brack, he wakes up and his patron is gone. Brack is a non-multi-class warlock, and the patron that he has spent 20 levels of devotion to is gone. All of his powers, every bit of anything he's ever gotten from him is absent. Brack is effectively a level 0 goblin with a lot of hit points.
A girthy goblin.
Nobody touch a hit point. Nobody touch a spell slot, or I will delete you.
Well, hello, Guildies. You have made it to the mid-roll of episode 113, the penultimate episode of Campaign 1 of Defenders of the Vale. With that said, I think we're going to keep things short and sweet this time. I just want to offer my genuine thanks and appreciation to all of you listeners out there. Making this show is a lot of fun, and I'm happy to do it. And the fact that people like you are listening makes it a lot better. So thank you, listeners. As always, please like, share, rate, review, tell your friends. It doesn't have to just be your friends. Tell your enemies. Alright. Like I said, keeping this one short and sweet. Let's finish up episode 113, and I'll talk back at you in episode 114. But for now, let's get back to the show.
Brack is effectively a level 0 goblin with a lot of hit points.
A girthy goblin.
Yeah.
Is Scandal able to catch up to him?
Yeah. Brack will be... He just looks aimless. I mean, he's not walking fast. He's not walking anywhere. He's just in shock. As this thing, this being, which had consumed a good chunk of his conscience, as only a great old one could, is absent. And his mind is clear, but it's also absent from a connection to a much wiser, more intelligent being, elder being. And Brack grew to thrive with that constant feedback in a way that only Brack could.
Not too far behind him, Brett would hear, "Oi! Goblin! Where do you think you're going?"
I don't know. I don't
Good.
for the first time in, like, I guess a couple thousand years, I don't know what to do.
Bloody hell, you're over 1,000 years old.
Well, the time thing, if you concur. Listen, it's complicated, and I'm not up to explaining it to you. What are you doing?
Look, to be honest, whenever the boss would explain all that rubbish, I just sort of distracted myself with a nice glass of whiskey. But I think I get what you're saying. You look like a proper mangy little toad today.
I don't know what to do.
What do you mean you don't know what to do?
My whole life, I've had somebody pushing me to do something. Right? I was a slave, and then I found Abel. And even after I wasn't a slave, I always had work to do to push the agenda, right? Well, the agenda's done, and he's gone. I can't do any. I have no powers.
He sort of squints. He chugs the glass that he definitely brought out of the humble beginnings with him, and then he just chucks it away and it smashes. And he puts his hands on his hips. He squints again, and he says, "Are you bloody balmy? What the bloody hell are you on about? Listen here, you daft little frogman. Come here. Come close." And he sort of crouches down.
He hesitantly walks closer to you.
Are you whining like a newborn because your boss has gone bye-bye? Is that what this is about, huh?
I mean, I would have probably described it a little differently than you did.
Come
here. You kind of. How do you smell drunk and you just woke up?
Just shut up! Look at this! And he just points straight at the floor.
The ground.
He says, "Yeah, look at that!" And he points at the nearby house. You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
And he points at just a random woman on the street.
She's not my type. I think she's married to the blacksmith.
Oh, shut up. Nobody's your bloody type. We all have standards. Do you see all of this, Rick? You're mewling about Abel going missing, but he's right bloody here, isn't he? Are you listening?
He's stunned, as am I, the DM, and he's a little gassed with what you're saying. He goes, "Hey, when the hell did you learn to make sense?"
That's what magic's for. And as he says that, he snaps his fingers and casts glibness on himself. And he's still slurring his speech. He's still drunk, but now when he speaks, it sounds supremely eloquent. And he says, "Breck, I know this is very difficult, and I know that you've lost a great deal. But you must understand all we have left is all that Abel has given us. In his sacrifice, you're given the option to walk away and have nothing, so you might say. But I won't stand for it. See, you and me were quite alike. Obviously, I am a lot more, what's the word? Capable, useful, helpful, attractive, likable, efficient. The list goes on. But
That
then
was a
again,
lot more than one word.
well,
All right.
but then again, who could compare to one such as myself? But my point is, thanks to our boss doing whatever stupid thing he's gone and done, we at least have the chance to start again. And I know it's boring, oh boo-hoo, I don't want to learn how to sing songs in a tavern and make a lot of money, boo. But I'm afraid if you're going to be a whiny little baby frogman about it, well, you've got to start somewhere, haven't you, Greg?
You son of a bitch.
Watch your tongue. And then I use a disguise self to turn into the stretched out Breck again.
Come on, you
Talk
fake
about
me.
yourself like that.
Come on, you fake me. We got some shit to do. And he grabs you by the arm and he starts power walking back to the inn. He tries to kick open the door. It doesn't work. So he look the swingy hangy doors in the front, but he's not tall enough. So he looks at you to kick them open for him.
He falls into them.
Stumbles through. He comes walking over you. Comes back in and goes, "Listen, woohoo! We saved the world. Good job.
You're welcome.
I'm so happy. Shut up, you. I'm so happy for all of you. But we've got a lot of reports to do if we're going to get payments out. So I'm glad you're all back, and it's good to see you're alive so we don't have to pay your death insurance. But I need reports from each and every one of you lazy bastards about what happened, how it happened, and what damages there could be. Also, within the next 24 hours, you need to check the guild board. There's going to be more jobs. We can't get lazy now. Andale Tortugas." And he claps his hands as he walks back up to his office room.
Scandal has passed out.
We're right there on the floor with the
What
bracket.
the hell is Andale Tortuga?
It's
Well,
Goblin,
Brett-
you wouldn't get it.
Yeah, it's obviously Goblin in my world is Spanish because it's the only language I can say words in. And that means hurry up, tortoise.
After Brett goes upstairs, Onyx is going to go up to Roland. "All right, what did you do with him?"
So speaking of Roland, you would have seen him when he first came down the stairs, he would have made a beeline to Nina and Trotline.
Let's do that. You come downstairs. You make a beeline. Nina and Trotline looks like they've freshly woken up. And Trotline's like, well, that's a ride. I've never had anything like that happen before. And Nina kind of gets confused, hops off her stool, and grabs a keg and turns that into her chair. And she spikes the keg and keeps filling her drink in. Starts drinking heavy. Oh, hey, you were gone.
Yes, that I was. And now I'm back here. I don't know how I got back here. Last thing I remember, I was far to the south, along the oceanside cliffs. And I had discovered what appeared to be the remnants of a portal. I didn't really know anything about it, but it had my attention. And I pondered on it, and eventually it opened up. I think when whatever happened, because something's different, everything's different. But I think I discovered a portal into a different world, a world a world that's not our own.
What do you mean?
I mean, like another place, another plane, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but some of the magic started to bleed through into here. If we go and investigate it, I'm sure there'll be remnants.
Trotline says, I need a new adventure. Now that I don't got any more dragons to fight, maybe there'll be some new types of fish. And he grabs his two massive weapons because he has a feat that was only available in 3.5 that you guys don't have access to. Monkey grip, I think is what it was called. And he stands up and he goes, tell me about the location of this cave and I'll go scout ahead.
Sure. So Roland will describe the cliff face and the crashing waves, how you have to kind of climb up it, and how it's like nestled into the rocks, and he does his best to explain it.
Trotline goes, wait a minute. That's the thing that was supposed to go to something called the Feywild.
Yes, the magic, certainly, I felt the connection to it. I'm not fully elven, but I still feel a little bit of those ancient drawings.
Trotline laughs. He goes, I'm not fully elven either, but I do like to find fish. And I heard there was a rumor of some like really nature type energy coming from this cave by a couple of people. Paid him some money. Actually, I've been to that cave. I found this book while I was there. And he hands you a book. Do you speak Sylvan?
Yes, I do.
This is a book in Sylvan called From the Feywild.
Interesting.
And we're not going to go too much into what it says because it doesn't have a lot of bearing in the game, but it does explain that there's another realm called the Feywild, and a lot of stuff like elves and a few of the other races kind of come from there. It's going to talk about everything that the Feywild and 5th edition D&D is, so it's going to really make a connection. Now you guys have to realize that this world, all these realms exist, right? The Abyss, Tartarus, Hell, all of these realms, the celestial realms, the realms of the gods, all these different planescape or planar space. I can't remember the name of it is. The astral plane, they all exist, but this world was effectively cut off from them by Abel in order to prevent the world from being destroyed. He isolated them, so nobody's been traveling back and forth. That's why there's only a few gods on this planet until kind of recently. So with that gone, there's been no real experts in development in magic, so nobody's been able to pierce that veil. So even though like Fenilius's mom is the premier kind of magical transportation expert that's existed, she has no experience really with interdimensional portals or inter-realm portals because it's been inaccessible. But all bets are off.
Hey Ricky, would this book work as the material component to plane shift into the Feywild?
Negative, sir. It's going to be harder to get there.
That's worth a shot.
It is a good shot. It can describe it to you, but it won't be able to give you any sort of like locational details.
Perhaps I'll have to journey back to this cave as well.
You will. You'll see Trotline there. We'll talk about that in the future. Probably tomorrow. Rabbijan, what are you doing?
Well, I feel like Robbie John would probably notice that something was different.
How does the fact that there's no longer an Abel make you feel?
Is there a breakfast home?
Yeah, but there's no portal. He's cooking everything right in the kitchen.
I'm not sure that Robbie John would fully have, like, it probably didn't fully sink in for her quite yet. So she's maybe still kind of trying to figure out what's weird. But she's kind of quiet into herself, and even though Grok is like hanging out with her and stuff, she's not very talkative. She's not good company at the moment, and she's not really sure why.
Who have I missed? Oh, that's right. Onyx, what are you doing?
Okay, so when he came down, he saw Roland. He goes up to Roland, basically picks him up by his collar, lifts him up. What have you done with him?
But, Onyx, put me down.
I'm not gonna fall for it twice. And holds up 6 fingers.
How on
Oh.
earth are you holding up 6 fingers on one hand if you've got Roland held up in your other hand?
We don't ask questions, Onyx.
Those are the right questions. So
He's got the thumb on the hand that he's holding you with up.
So Roland wouldn't have been there for what Onyx is referencing, I don't think.
No.
What are you doing now, Onyx? You got Roland up in the air.
What did you do with Roland?
Blasted man, I am Roland.
Like I said, you fooled us once. It's not gonna happen again.
I wild shape into a rat.
Get back here! And I start chasing him. And I chase him outside. When I get outside, I look up and go, was that always there? And then start chasing the rat again.
So, at this point in time, Fanilius and Gravine both walk through the front door of the inn as Onyx chases Roland the rat outside the inn.
You see the crow fly past the front door, and Onyx is chasing that now.
And this could go on forever because he's a cheater druid. Gravine walks in and he goes,
Hey guys.
Oh, Gravine, I'm glad to see that you're okay. You as well, Fernandez.
Oh, thank you. You guys did well.
Well, friendship and all that, you know.
Yeah, you guys, way to fight the fight. How was the necromancer? Was he a pain?
It was nice from what I recall for eviler necromancer than I'm typically used to interacting with, but, you know.
I set the bar pretty high. You're right.
True, but remember, humble beginnings. Divine, humble beginnings.
Yeah, the beginnings are humble, not just teasing. So, let's be honest. How was the storm giant barbarian skeleton?
Useful.
Anytime I've got to rearrange the furniture in my house, he is such a helpful person.
How large has your house gotten?
Well, I mean, I have him, so it's pretty big.
Oh, he's a nice fellow. Or dead, murderous, barbarian giant.
So, Fanilius is in the inn with you, as is Gravine. And with that, Brack comes back down. Don't forget your paperwork. Hey, Fanilius, how's it going? You want a beer?
No, thank you.
And he goes, hey, I got a question for you. Can I see you and Gravine up in the office? Kind of start walking, expecting you to keep up with him.
I will follow.
As does Gravine. So I got a problem. I seem to have lost a valuable asset. That's the last thing you guys hear as he heads up into the storeroom above. Rabbijan, how you feeling? Have you recovered yet from your emotional trauma? Emotional damage.
emotional damage. Maybe slightly. My mind is I gotta think what to do now, because I don't know. For today, I think that she would probably just kind of be taking it easy. There's a lot in her head that she's trying to process. Maybe I think throughout the day she probably would have heard a little bit more, and it would have sunk in more that Abel may be gone. And maybe at one point, like after night falls and everyone's kind of gone their separate ways to go to bed or whatever, she might try to use her special ability to reach out to him.
So what do you say?
Well, typically all she would have to say is, like, hello, Mr. Abel Geyser. Probably John would like to talk to you if Mr. Abel Geyser has time.
Dead silence. You feel it's like, I don't know if you've ever been like in the woods and it's scary and it's like really quiet, like too quiet. That's how it feels.
I don't think. I think Robbie John would probably be sad. Yeah, Robbie John would probably be bummed and would probably just kind of be depressed all night.
Yeah. A lot of people who knew Abel are going to be sad and depressed. A lot of people who knew Abel are going to be very excited about his lack of presence in the world.
It kind of goes one way or the other.
Nobody's really neutral with Abel.
Not at all.
Wild things are happening. Like right now, the Elven Kingdoms are kind of recuperating. Basha has finally set a date for her wedding to the princes of Wood Elf Kingdom. They had fought valiantly together and worked to keep a split between the two kingdoms from happening. Bresinger has started the bakery as it's booming, and he has really worked hand in hand with Rabbi Jan, and there is a huge orphanage for a lot of the children whose parents were taken by the war. Still spends plenty of time occasionally going out on guild missions. You guys actually get a letter from Rin. The letter will read something like, "Hello, it is Rin. I was writing you to let you know that things are going well. I have been working on my network. I have a good spy network I will give you access to sometime. If you need something, just let me know. I will take care of you. I'm so happy you complete the mission. I complete my mission. Everything is good." All right. So you go through the rest of the day. The town is recovering. As nice as everything is, you got to think the world, as you know it, is just recovering from a brutal war where a goddess and a god were trying to destroy everything. Teamed up with a couple of demons.
I'd like for, at least for this day, for Basil to sort of like, spends a lot of it sort of going around town. You know, he's pretty fierce. And just sort of checking who's like still here sort of thing. And then after sort of spending his day doing that, I think he would go look for the Great Sage.
Yeah, you don't find the Great Sage today. But what you do find is at the training grounds that you had established, you see Ron.
Yeah.
And he's training a mixed group of young and older people some of which look like they had just survived the war, ironically enough. And when you come up to him, you hear him, he goes, "Listen, y'all gotta have some like extra hobbies and stuff. You gotta keep that mind engaged. It's not all about being strong and just whooping ass all the time. For me for example, I like to hang out with snakes. And I just want you all to know that snakes are poisonous, or maybe they're venomous, or maybe they're poison venomous. Either way, don't say the wrong one, or druids will punch you in the face. That's my experience."
Basil chuckles.
Right? And I'm not telling y'all gotta all have snakes, although I would totally recommend having a snake. They're rad as hell, man. Chicks love snakes too, by the way. What I'm saying is, you gotta have something you're passionate about. Why are you gonna protect what? What are you fighting for? Remember, the best fight is a fight you can avoid, huh? People taught me that. Don't know who. Probably important.
Basil sort of is cheered by Ron's babbling, and he would sort of, for a while, probably not too long, but for a while, just sort of sit and watch, the group train, and Ron sort of try and lead them and just...
Now, when you come up, Ron turns to you and he bows, and he goes, "All right, everybody, take a look. This right here is the head of our order. He is what we call the Great Sage."
Basil looks around for the sage because he's been looking for him all day. God damn it!
You hear Ron whisper at you, "No, dumbass, you're the Great Sage."
Excuse me?
You didn't tell you?
No. Well, I was preoccupied. You could run that by me again?
Yeah, Great Sage, that's you. So look, he's really humble.
And confused. What? Ron? This is a joke. I'm gonna insight check Ron.
Go ahead and insight him. I dare you.
24.
Not only is he honest, but he's stupid too.
Well, that's the best kind. Oh my god, you're being serious. Sorry. I'm very confused. Very sorry. He turns to the group of recruits and looks a little bit flustered. This is very... Could I have a word with you for a second, Ron? Over here.
He comes over and goes, "What are you doing, man? You're making me look not cool in front of the recruits."
I assure you, Ron, nothing could make you look not cool.
What's wrong with you, bro? You're the great sage, you know. You're the head priest now.
You keep saying this, but I feel like I would have been informed of this by the sage.
Hold on. You just did this. Let me show you what you did, just so you can so you know what you looked like in front of all your new students. You went, and he holds his arms up as he's kind of making fun of you.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's quite consistent that I do that. That's kind of my thing. It's a coping mechanism. We're just spitting.
Yeah.
Stop this. Stop that.
I'm just trying to be like the great sage. That's what I'm supposed to do, right?
You are a brilliant friend.
He turns to the students and goes, "Listen, y'all shouldn't make fun of the great sage, even though he's got a speech impediment. Not everybody can be smooth words like I can. He's a really good dude, and he knows this martial arts stuff really good."
Ron?
Yeah? Yes, Sage?
Okay. I appreciate your kindness, but perhaps in the future, when the sage gives you important news, perhaps you could expedite the delivery to me?
So in the future, when you give me important news, I gotta tell you about it faster.
I suppose so.
Is that frustrating? That seems frustrating.
Basil
Listen,
is
man.
very confused right now.
Listen, great sage. Here's what happened.
Right.
Yeah, so here's what happened. Greg came up to me earlier and he said, "Listen,
you're just calling him Greg now, okay."
Well, he ain't the great sage no more. He retired. Times is over. You didn't know his name. You've never heard his name. Greg came up to me and he goes, "Listen, I'm done being the great sage. Basil's going to be a perfectly wonderful great sage. He'll know what to do. He'll keep the order alive, bloody. And then he said, make sure you serve him good." And I said, "All right, man, I'll do that. I'll serve him just like I did you, because you know me, I'm always down to serve. Woo, I'm a servant." And
yes.
He looked at me weird. He said, "Good job," patted me on the shoulder, and walked away before I could say anything else.
Oh, that does sound very much like the sage.
You didn't know his name was Greg?
I just never told me. It's not really my place to ask.
I always assumed you knew what his name was because he always called me the Great Sage. But anyway, that's your name now, and so I think you stop letting people call you Basil. His name is Gregory Mathis Winthrop Deville the Eighth. He's fancy, bro.
Never asked his name because it never much mattered what his name was. It mattered what he could teach us.
Did he pat you on the shoulder and he goes, "Now your name doesn't matter"?
Okay, well, thanks. I mean, you're right. Well, in which case, it is an honor, and I'm grateful for you giving me this news. I was hoping to find and speak to
All right, good. Come here,
Gregory.
He puts his hand on your shoulder and he starts to lead you over to the new people. And he goes, "All right, guys, this here is the Great Sage. He is the epitaph of all things monk. He is the pinnacle of your monkiness. And this is what we are striving for. And right now, he is going to give us a speech of such wisdom and inspiration that y'all ain't never going to not be a monk in your life." And then he shuts up and looks at you, expecting you to deliver a nice motivational speech seconds after learning that you're the new Great Sage. And
Basil's
all
face
25
goes
students are staring you in the eyes.
Basil's face goes through like 10 different emotions in rapid succession, cycling back to confusion every 2 emotions. And he sort of looks between the group of students, looks back at Ron, looks back to the group of students, and he sort of, a speech. I mean, I haven't prepared anything. And he sort of catches himself in this sort of rambling, and he stops for a second, and he uses stillness of mind, and he takes a breath, and he looks up and addresses these students. "So I've been told that you're interested in following our traditions."
Like clap their hands on their hips and bow in unison.
I was surprised at how well Ron has been teaching these students. No offense, Ron. I see. Well, first of all, I suppose I must thank you. It is difficult to show such commitment so soon after tragedy, but nevertheless you are here. And as the great sage, it is my duty to ensure that you understand that your commitment is appreciated and from henceforth expected. I'm certain you shall all mold yourselves into very capable fighters, philosophers, whatever sort of direction you choose to take. Regardless of the direction you follow, you will be family, and you will strive for what you believe in. I won't make that decision for you. You'll have to find that out on your own, as we all have at some point. Maybe it's snakes. Maybe it's...
To the side when you say snakes, Ron, like, yes. Flexes his arm and pulls it in.
Maybe it's something that matters to no one else on this planet but you. As your family, we will return that commitment.
And as you say that, Ron puts his hand on his shoulder and he'll go, listen, man, a lot of you guys joined for the wrong reason, but I think you joined with the right intentions. You don't become the great sage who was formerly the lesser by carrying around a grudge and trying to murder people who murdered your family. All right? And y'all are joined because you want to learn how to fight. And we're not going to teach you how to fight. I mean, you're going to learn how to fight. But what you're going to learn is how to get over these emotions and become a better being. Because you can't be friends with snakes. You can't be the strongest. And you can't be a harbinger of peace, as he looks towards you, if you're letting these other things take control of you and own you. Every grudge you have is a debt you owe to something else. And we're going to teach you how to pay those debts off, not through violence, but through growth. Now come with me. And he starts to walk off towards training again. And for a brief moment, even though he's batshit crazy, you're pretty happy that he's there to help you as you start this out.
Because he would make a good lesser.
I mean, I can't put that on him. I'm not the leader of the guild, or the monks, so that's not a title I can bestow on him.
Basil is not the sort to rush into any sort of decision.
I don't feel pressure. You're the great sage. You can do what you want.
So most certainly he would deliberate for a number of days. But I think it's pretty clear that Ron would sort of almost fall into the role of the lesser. And I think at that point it would just be a matter of formality for Basil to like officiate it, which I think he would do.
Yeah, and I imagine there would be some sort of duel that takes place, which you win it barely.
Mm-hmm.
Because
He's
Ron
still
hits.
strong.
Oh
He's
yes,
still...
he's a level 20 barbarian monk hybrid.
Remember the last time we fought? My God.
So he when you let him know he's the lesser, like in the future, we'll go ahead and jump to the future for that. It doesn't. He pauses for a second and he goes, "Huh? I thought that would be different."
You're expecting more fanfare, perhaps?
No, but like, it don't really change nothing I'm doing. I'm still gonna teach these folks everything I know about how to be a good monk. All the lesser does is just like makes what some people call me a little different. I guess I'm gonna live my life the same, huh? And introspectively, I think those words would ring true for you now as a great sage. That is a big responsibility, but you became the great sage not because of any big fanfare or because of any new responsibility. You're gonna kind of keep doing what you do now, and that's why you're the great sage.
Hi, this is Mallory. I do the voice of Robbie John, and I wanted to say thank you for joining us for another episode of Defenders of the Vale. If you would like to hear more of Defenders of the Vale, you can find us at Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, and pretty much anything else that plays podcasts. You can also find us on Twitter at Defenders Vale and Facebook, Defenders of the Vale. Our episodes come out weekly, and we would love for you to share us with your friends. We hope that you will join us again soon. Thanks again.
Welcome, Craig.
All right, be right back. Go to the bathroom.
Hurry up, bring him in. I'm leaving.
I was only kidding. I was taking a giant drink. I like Quick Trip has really good iced tea. And the only thing that makes me angry at Quick Trip is sometimes the employees will put the wrong bag in the wrong container. So you'll go to get black iced tea and you'll get like green tea, which I like both, but I really wanted that black iced tea because everything's better black.
I feel like Arizona quick trips are a lot different than Wisconsin quick trips.
In Arizona, they're magical places.
I'll be right back. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Now that Basil's gone. Basil, reply to the statement or your character takes 2,000 damage. Well, you guys heard it. He chose the damage.
I like how you're just not flat out saying that you died and I had to bring you back. That's making me laugh.
How do you tell somebody, oh yeah, you died, but it's all good now? Like,
That's-
how do
that's
you
a great
really
one.
come out like and just
Like the-
say that?
Like this.
So let's talk about this campaign because we've been playing it for like 2 years and change. Has it been 2 years and change?
I believe yes.
I think so.
More
Oh, it
like
has been
going
a
on
while.
3 years.
Wow. What kind of long-winded jerk does a 3-year campaign?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, there were breaks and stuff in time in
Yeah.
there.
No, the next campaign there'll be no breaks. We're gonna play Monday through Friday.
Oh
Nobody
god.
gets a choice.
We have to live it. We have to LARP it. We're gonna go to a camp. We're gonna kill a guy. We're gonna commit a murder.
And then after we do that, we'll start playing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. But let's talk for a second. Like, but all bets are on and off. You can do whatever now. Get wild. You want to go?
Get Feywild.
You want to go? I was about to say, you want to go get Feywild for spring break?
No, Feywild and out.
You can Feywild and out all you want. So what are you doing now, Grok? You got him up in the air.
Onyx.
Dang it. What are you doing now, Onyx? You got Roland up in the air. So Roland wouldn't have been there for what Onyx is referencing, I don't think.
No.
Because that was my favorite day pretending to be Roland ever. Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you guys remember?
Yes.
All I remember is that guy was a dick.
Yeah, I played him pretty accurately, Roland's personality. Also, don't tell anybody, I totally have a crush on Matilda.
It seems like this letter has perhaps been intercepted at some point.
Boy, it was nice to have Joe back for a minute.
I'm gonna have to let him know so he can listen to this and curse me out.
Oh, Joe.
He puts your hand on the shoulder, on your shoulder.
He puts your hand on the.
Put your legs on my shoulder.
He starts doing the cha-cha slide.
So I want to pause for a second and say thank you, but thank you, Saul. I was gonna have Breck just leave sad, and that was gonna be the last you heard of him this campaign. What a wonderfully improv pep talk you just gave him.
Hell yeah. Scandal doesn't have a lot of friends, so he can't really let the little frogman get away.
So now Brack is rededicated to making sure the guild runs smoothly. He doesn't have magic powers, but he knows how to do paperwork.
Yes, he does.
If you're talking, you don't have your button pushed.
No, I was just reading where somebody asked if there was a difference between my horrible DMing and my normal DMing, and somebody else said no.
Well, that is rude. I can't imagine anyone would do that.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's a totally sick burn, and the person that said that stuff should totally get inspiration or something.
You know what they should get? They should get the wrath of this evil death god for a second. Hold up.
Okay, I'm holding up. I'm up and holding.
Holding up.
I can't remember the Great Sage's name.
They didn't have a name as far as I'm aware.
His name is the Great Sage. That's the only
He has-
thing
he has a name.
No.
Shit.
Don't lie to me.
What? He has a
I
name. It's on the
probably wrote it down.
website. I'm trying to get to the website right now, and I don't remember it. I don't have it saved for some reason.
How dare you?
Is it dotv.com?
No, it's dotvpodcast.com.
Gregory Matthias Winthrop DeVille the Eighth.
.com.
No, that yeah. .com.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Greg, the Greg Sage.
With that being said, Rabijan, Roland, Onyx, you guys have campaigns or one shots that we're going to do kind of in between to let me rest and hammer some details out. Are you guys ready for that? I know Lewis is. I know Rabijan's not. I'm pretty sure Roland is.
I mean, I have an idea, and Walter's gonna help me. So if I need to, we can hammer it out and get it ready.
Good. Just don't use the Warhammer.
I was gonna
mean,
say.
Do
I don't
use
know
the
if I
Warhammer,
want
but
to.
don't tell us about it.
You don't get to tell me what to
I
do
realized.
about
I
the
corrected myself.
Warhammer,
I corrected
Mr.
myself.
It's not
Oh, yeah,
yours,
wait.
Ricky. God damn it.
Listen, kind of mine. Rick, pause. Pause you.
Well, in my free time, I like to help blind people. Verb, not adjective.
Give me two more Sue jokes that you didn't get to tell.
Along the same vein, if you donate a kidney, everybody loves you and you're a total hero. But try donating 5 at the same time, and suddenly everyone's yelling and authorities get called.
That's like the best one I've heard so far.
You got one more.
One of my favorite ones is, if I make you breakfast in bed, a simple thank you is all I ask for. None of this, who are you and how'd you get in here?